Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at the power of hope.
Yeah, hope.
The power of hope. And we're really going beyond it as just a feel-good emotion.
Right.
Um, and we're going to look at how it can be this driving force for resilience,
Yeah.
for change, and even for your physical well-being. So get ready for some surprising insights into
Yeah.
how hope can truly impact your life.
Absolutely.
We're going to be looking at an excerpt today
Okay.
from a text titled El poder de la esperanza como motor humano.
Okay.
And that translates to the power of hope as a human engine.
I like that title.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's very descriptive.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
So often hope is dismissed as just wishful thinking.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, the research suggests that it's much more dynamic and impactful than we might think.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how hope has often been kind of relegated to that realm of, just positive thinking or wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But recent research suggests it's far more dynamic and impactful
Right.
than we may have previously thought.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
So in this excerpt, it actually starts by defining hope.
Okay.
And it's not passive daydreaming.
No, definitely not.
Right.
It's not just about, sitting back and hoping for the best.
Right.
The excerpt really emphasizes that hope is this active combination
Okay.
of optimism,
Mm-hmm.
positive expectations about the future,
Right.
and crucially, a belief that your actions can lead to tangible results.
So instead of just hoping for the best,
Right.
you're equipping yourself to actually pursue it.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's much more proactive
It is very proactive.
than simply wishing.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a key takeaway from this definition.
Okay.
Hope is about having a vision
Uh-huh.
and then believing in your ability to work towards it.
Okay, so then how does this active form of hope actually play out in our lives?
Well, the source outlines 5 key areas where hope can drive positive change: resilience, motivation, emotional and physical well-being, creativity, and collective unity.
Okay, so 5 different areas.
Yeah, 5 key areas where hope can really make a difference.
And we can explore those in a little bit more detail.
We can definitely dive into each of those
Okay, per day.
in more detail.
So let's start with resilience.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk about resilience these days.
Oh, for sure. Resilience is a hot topic.
Yeah. How does hope actually fit into that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So when you're facing, tough times,
Mm-hmm.
setbacks, or uncertainty, hope can actually provide this shift in perspective.
Okay.
Instead of getting bogged down by the difficulty,
Mm-hmm.
it helps you view these situations as temporary challenges
Okay.
that you can overcome with effort and time.
So it's like hope is providing that light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. It's like that beacon in the distance.
It's helping you keep going even when things are difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps you keep your eyes on the prize, so to speak. I like that.
Even when the going gets tough.
So what kind of evidence is there for that?
Well, this source uses a really powerful example.
Right.
Patients with serious illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Studies have shown that those who approach their treatment with hope
Okay.
often show better recovery rates, or at least an improved quality of life.
Wow.
They're not just enduring their treatment.
Right.
They're actively participating in their healing journey.
So it's incredible to think that hope could be a factor in physical healing.
Yeah, it's really quite remarkable.
What about motivation?
Okay.
How does hope help us get moving and achieve our goals?
So think about a student who's struggling with a subject.
Okay.
If they believe in their ability to learn and improve,
Uh-huh.
they're much more likely to put in the effort,
Right.
even when it gets tough.
Right.
Hope fuels that I can do this attitude.
Okay.
And this ties in directly with the idea of a growth mindset,
Okay.
which emphasizes the belief in one's ability to develop skills and intelligence over time. So it sounds like hope is about believing in the possibility of success, even when you're facing obstacles.
Exactly.
Could that lead someone to take on challenges they might otherwise shy away from?
Absolutely. That internal drive fueled by hope can push you to strive, learn from mistakes, and stay focused on your goals, even when you encounter setbacks along the way.
Okay.
So it's a really powerful force for motivation
It is.
and achievement.
Powerful.
And speaking of well-being, let's shift our focus to the impact of hope on emotional and physical health.
Okay, this is where the connection between the mind and body gets really interesting.
It really does.
What does the research say about hope's role in all of that?
Well, there's a growing body of research
Okay.
demonstrating a link between higher levels of hope
Uh-huh.
and reduce stress, anxiety, and depression.
Wow.
For instance, studies using brain imaging have shown that individuals with higher hope levels exhibit increased activity
Okay.
in areas of the brain associated with reward processing and emotional regulation. This suggests that hope may help us better manage stress and negative emotions.
So hope isn't just a fleeting emotion.
Right.
It has a very tangible effect on our mental health.
It does. It's not just a feel-good sentiment.
Right.
It actually has a measurable impact
Yeah.
on our mental well-being.
Does that extend to our physical health as well?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Studies have shown a connection between hope and a stronger immune system.
Really?
Research has also found a correlation between higher hope levels and lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol.
Interesting.
Some studies even suggest a link to increased longevity,
Wow.
although more research is needed in that area.
Yeah, of course.
But the evidence is certainly mounting.
So it's incredible to think that cultivating hope could be like investing in our overall well-being.
It's like a holistic investment
It is,
in
yeah.
both our mental and physical health.
Now let's move on to creativity.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear how hope sparks innovation.
Hope can be seen as an engine of possibility. It pushes us to look beyond the obvious
Okay.
and find solutions where others might see roadblocks.
What are some examples of that in action?
Well, think of historical figures like Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay.
They ignited hope in others, fueling movements for social change that many thought were impossible.
Yeah.
Their unwavering belief in a better future, even in the face of immense adversity, inspired countless others to join them in their fight for justice and equality.
So it's like hope empowers people to imagine a better future.
Yeah,
And then it gives them the audacity to actually pursue it.
exactly. It's that fuel that propels them forward,
Wow.
even when the odds seem stacked against them.
What about the role of hope in bringing people together?
That ties in beautifully with our final point.
Yeah.
Collective unity.
Okay.
When people share a common hope,
Mm-hmm.
it creates an incredible bond,
Okay.
a sense of shared purpose that can be incredibly powerful.
We see that in social movements all the time.
All the time.
The fight for civil rights, environmental justice movements, global health initiatives. These are all fueled by this collective hope for a better world.
Absolutely. It's that shared aspiration that unites people.
It's inspiring to see how hope can be that unifying force.
It's really quite remarkable
Yeah.
how hope can bring people together.
But what exactly is it about hope that makes it so powerful?
Well, the source we're discussing breaks it down into three core components.
Okay, let's hear it.
First, you need a vision of the future, something to strive towards.
Okay.
Second, you need conscious action. Hope isn't passive. It requires us to step up and do the work. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, you need faith in humanity.
That last one is really intriguing.
Yeah.
Why is faith in humanity so crucial, especially in the world we live in today? There's a lot of negativity and division.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be hard to maintain that faith sometimes.
That's a really valid point.
Yeah.
We are constantly bombarded with negativity.
Yeah.
Reasons to be cynical. But hope requires us to hold on to the belief that people are inherently good, that we have the potential to change and overcome challenges together. Without that faith,
Yeah.
it's easy to lose hope altogether.
It's like that saying, it takes a village.
Yeah,
We need each other to fuel that collective sense of hope
absolutely.
and create positive change.
It's a collective effort.
It is.
For sure.
But that brings up a crucial question.
Okay.
If hope is so vital, how do we actually cultivate it?
Right.
Especially when we're feeling hopeless
Yeah.
or surrounded by negativity.
That's the big question.
Is that something we can learn?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can definitely learn to cultivate hope.
Okay, good.
The source actually outlines some practical strategies for doing just that.
Okay.
And we can delve into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay. That sounds like a great place to pause for now.
Sounds good.
We've covered a lot of ground already, exploring the definition of hope, its core components, and how it can impact our lives in so many ways.
We have. It's been a great discussion so far.
When we come back, we'll dive into those practical strategies for cultivating hope
That's right.
and discuss how you can apply them to your own life.
Looking forward to it.
Stay tuned.
See you soon.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the power of hope.
Yeah, it's amazing how something we often take for granted can be so impactful on our lives.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is.
And we've only just begun to explore its potential.
I think so too.
So let's dig a little deeper into those practical strategies for cultivating hope that we touched on at the end of the last segment.
Okay, yeah.
You mentioned setting clear goals. as one of the strategies.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that a bit more?
Yeah. So, the source emphasizes the importance of setting goals that are both realistic and achievable.
Okay.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed by this massive goal,
Right.
the idea is to break it down into smaller,
Yeah.
more manageable steps.
Right. It's like creating a roadmap with hope as the fuel that keeps you moving forward.
Okay.
Each step you take,
Uh-huh.
no matter how small, reinforces your belief that you're making progress,
Okay.
which in turn generates more hope and motivation to keep going.
I like that.
It's a beautiful cycle.
It is.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the concept of micro wins
Yes.
that we often hear about in productivity circles.
Absolutely.
Achieving those small wins can create that sense of momentum and keep you moving towards your larger goals.
Yeah, I love that analogy of micro wins.
Yeah.
Because it really highlights the importance of those small victories along the way.
It does.
You know, it's not just about the end goal.
What about the strategy of surrounding yourself with positive support?
Oh, that's a crucial one.
Yeah.
The source suggests seeking out communities
Okay.
that share your values and goals.
So that could be a group of friends,
It could be
a local organization,
Yeah.
or even an online forum.
even online. Yeah.
Okay.
The key is to find people who inspire you, lift you up,
Yeah.
and remind you that you're not alone
Yeah.
in your pursuit of a better future.
Have you found that to be true in your own life?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we all have those people in our lives who seem to radiate positivity
Yeah.
and make us feel more hopeful just by being around them.
I agree.
They provide a sense of encouragement and support,
Yeah.
especially when we're facing challenges.
But it's not always easy to find those people, is it?
You're right, it's not always easy.
Especially if you're feeling isolated or disconnected.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's not always easy, and it might require some effort to find those supportive communities
Oh.
or individuals. It might involve stepping outside of your comfort zone
Okay.
and trying new things, joining new groups, or reaching out to people who inspire you.
Okay.
But the benefits of having that positive support system can be immense.
It's like having a team of hope ambassadors.
I love that.
Cheering you on.
Yes.
And holding you accountable.
It's like having your own personal cheer squad
Yeah, it is.
for hope.
What about the strategy of connecting with inspiring stories?
Stories are so powerful.
They are.
Think about stories of individuals who have overcome incredible adversity,
Okay.
like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., Malala Yousafzai,
Yeah.
or even everyday people who have shown resilience and courage
Uh-huh.
in the face of challenges.
What kind of impact do those stories have?
Their stories can remind us that change is possible,
Okay.
even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles.
Okay.
They demonstrate the power of hope in action.
Yeah.
They show us what's possible when we refuse to give up.
It's one thing to read about the concept of hope,
Right.
but it's quite another to see it embodied in real-life stories
Exactly.
with people who have persevered through difficult times.
It makes it real.
It does.
Makes it tangible.
Those stories can be incredibly powerful and motivating.
They are incredibly inspiring.
They make you realize that if those individuals can overcome those obstacles, maybe you can too.
Absolutely.
What about the strategy of maintaining a learning mindset?
That's a great one.
Yeah, why is continuous learning so crucial for cultivating hope?
It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and skills.
Okay.
The more you learn,
Mm-hmm.
the more confident you become in your ability to navigate challenges
Okay.
and achieve your goals.
So you're constantly adding tools to your hope toolkit,
Exactly.
expanding your resources and options.
Like building your hope muscle.
Yeah.
The more you use it,
Yeah.
the stronger it gets.
But doesn't focusing too much on the positive risk ignoring the reality?
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
There's a difference between blindly believing that everything will work out
Okay.
and actively working towards a desired outcome while acknowledging the reality of challenges.
So how do we strike that balance?
It's about being honest with yourself,
Okay.
about the potential obstacles, difficulties you might face,
Mm-hmm.
while maintaining a belief in your ability to overcome them. It's about combining optimism with action,
Okay.
faith with effort.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I
Okay.
think that's a really insightful way to put it.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring the negative,
Right.
but about choosing to focus on the positive
Okay.
and taking action to make it happen.
So it's like hope with a healthy dose of realism.
Exactly.
You're not ignoring the challenges.
Right.
You're simply choosing to believe that you can work through them and find solutions.
And that ties back to the importance of having faith in humanity.
Right.
It's about believing in our collective capacity for growth, change, and creating a better world, even amidst the complexities and challenges of reality.
So it's believing that together we
Together.
can make it different.
That's the key.
Okay.
It's that belief in our shared human potential.
That brings us to the final strategy discussed in the source.
Okay.
Practicing gratitude.
Gratitude.
Such a powerful thing.
It's so important.
How can gratitude help us cultivate hope?
Well, gratitude involves shifting your focus
Okay.
to the positive aspects of your life, even amidst difficult circumstances.
Okay.
It's about appreciating the good things,
Yeah.
no matter how small,
Yeah.
and recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life.
It's like that saying, gratitude is the antidote to negativity.
Exactly.
By focusing on what you're grateful for, you shift your perspective away from what's lacking
Right.
and cultivate a more hopeful outlook.
Do you have any tips for how people can practice gratitude more intentionally?
Yeah, so there are many simple practices that you can incorporate into your daily life.
Okay.
One is keeping a gratitude journal,
Yeah.
where you just write down a few things you're grateful for each day.
I love that idea.
Another is simply taking a few moments each day
Okay.
to reflect on the positive aspects of your life,
Yeah.
even if it's just appreciating a beautiful sunset or a kind gesture from a stranger.
Those small acts of gratitude can have a profound impact
I think so too.
on your overall well-being.
It's like training your mind to notice and appreciate the good things,
Yeah.
even when things are tough.
And that shift in perspective can be incredibly powerful.
Powerful. Yeah.
It really
It
can.
reminds me of that quote by Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, I love Oprah.
Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough.
That's a great quote.
It is.
It perfectly captures the essence of gratitude
Yeah.
and its ability to shift our focus towards abundance rather than scarcity.
Abundance versus scarcity.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this segment,
We have?
exploring 5 practical strategies for cultivating hope, setting realistic goals,
Yes.
surrounding yourself with positive support, connecting with inspiring stories,
Absolutely.
maintaining a learning mindset,
Yeah.
and practicing gratitude.
Gratitude is key.
These strategies offer tangible steps we can take to strengthen our own sense of hope
They're practical and actionable.
and make it a more active force in our lives.
But I'm curious to hear more about how hope manifests in the real world.
Oh?
Beyond just these strategies.
Yeah,
How do we actually see hope playing out in people's lives?
that's a great segue.
Into the next part of our deep dive.
It is.
We can explore some real-world examples of hope in action,
Okay.
drawing on stories from history, current events, and even our own personal experiences.
Perfect.
Stay tuned for that.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
It's great to be back.
We've been exploring the power of hope.
Yeah. How it's not just a feel-good emotion,
Right.
but a real driver of resilience, motivation, and even physical well-being.
I'm really curious to see how this all plays out in real life.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
It's one thing to talk about the theory of hope,
Right.
but seeing it in action is what truly brings it to life.
So like those studies we talked about.
Yes, exactly.
About hope's impact on healthcare. That's a powerful example
It is a powerful example.
of how hope can manifest in tangible ways.
Yeah.
You mentioned that patients with serious illnesses who have a strong sense of hope often have better outcomes.
Right.
That's a fascinating connection.
It is.
Can you tell me more about those studies?
Sure. So there's a study from the University of California, San Francisco,
Okay.
that found cancer patients who scored higher on measures of hope were less likely to experience fatigue and pain during chemotherapy.
Oh, wow.
They also reported a higher quality of life overall.
So it's not to say that hope magically cures illness,
No, not at all.
but it seems to equip people to better cope with the challenges of treatment
Yes.
and maintain a more positive outlook.
Yeah, it gives them that extra strength.
It's like hope gives them an extra dose of strength and resilience.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Does this apply to mental health as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Can hope help people struggling with things like depression or anxiety?
Absolutely. Research has shown that hope can be a protective factor against mental health challenges.
So even when life throws curveballs, hope can help buffer against those negative impacts.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
It makes me think of that saying, hope springs eternal.
It's true.
Even in the darkest of times,
Mm-hmm.
there's often a glimmer of hope
Yeah.
that can help us keep going.
It's that little flicker of light.
And speaking of those who inspire hope, let's shift our focus to another powerful example. Social movements.
Okay.
We briefly talked about Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr. earlier,
We did.
but I think it's worth diving deeper into their stories.
Yeah, I agree.
How did they manage to maintain hope in the face of such immense adversity?
That's a great question.
You know?
What's remarkable about figures like Mandela and King is that their hope wasn't just about personal gain,
Right.
but about a vision for a better future for
Okay.
their communities
Yeah.
and for humanity as a whole.
It's like their hope transcended the personal and became this collective force for change.
Yeah. It was bigger than themselves.
It wasn't just about their own freedom,
Right.
but about the liberation of an entire people.
Absolutely.
Their stories remind us that hope can be a powerful weapon
It can be
against injustice and oppression.
a very powerful weapon.
Yeah.
It gives people the strength to resist, to persevere,
Yeah.
and to ultimately create a more just and equitable world.
But what about hope in our everyday lives?
Right.
How can we find and cultivate that same sense of hope
Yeah.
that fueled those movements?
That's the question, isn't it?
Even in the midst of our own personal challenges.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Hope doesn't have to be about grand gestures
Right.
or changing the world.
Okay.
It can be found in the small, everyday moments of our lives.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about the student who's struggling in a class but refuses to give up,
Okay.
believing they can eventually master the material.
Or the entrepreneur who takes a leap of faith
Yes.
and starts their own business, fueled by the hope of creating something meaningful and successful.
Absolutely.
Or even someone facing a health challenge,
Right.
who finds the strength to keep going day after day,
Yeah.
holding on to the hope of recovery.
Those are all great examples.
Hope is the driving force behind so many of our endeavors,
It really is.
both big and small.
Yeah, both the everyday and the extraordinary.
And even in those moments when we feel discouraged or defeated,
Mm-hmm.
hope can come from unexpected sources.
Absolutely.
A kind word from a stranger,
Yeah.
a beautiful sunset.
A heartwarming story.
Yeah.
These little sparks of hope remind us that even amidst the darkness,
Mm-hmm.
there's always beauty and goodness to be found.
Those moments can be so powerful.
They are.
They whisper to us, keep going, don't
Yeah.
give up. There's still so much good in the world and so much good you can contribute.
I love that.
That's the essence of hope.
It is.
It's not a passive emotion.
No.
It's an active choice we make every single day.
Right.
We choose to believe in a better future.
To work towards it
Uh-huh.
and to find those glimmers of light
Those little sparks.
that sustain us along the way.
I like that imagery. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this thought. Hope is not a luxury. It's a necessity.
It is.
It's a vital force that empowers us to navigate challenges, achieve goals, and live more fulfilling lives.
And the best part is, it's a force we can cultivate,
Yeah.
nurture, and share with others.
It's empowering to think that we all have this incredible power within us,
We do.
waiting to be unleashed.
So I'll leave you with this final question.
Yeah.
What steps can you take today, right now, to strengthen your own sense of hope and inspire it in others? Maybe it's setting a small, achievable goal,
Yeah.
reaching out to a friend, or simply taking a moment to appreciate the good things in your life.
Those are all good ones.
Whatever it is, remember that even small acts of hope can ripple outwards and make a difference.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the power of hope.
It's been a pleasure.
Remember, keep diving, keep exploring, and keep that hope alive.